Hi all. I read this quote by C.S. Lewis earlier today and have been thinking about it, and it's a good quote. I wanted to share it. It's from this book called A Year with C.S. Lewis, and it's just kind of a daily readings from his classic works. So it's a good quote. I want to share it with you all. So this is from The Problem of Pain. It's for November 23rd. And pardon the noise. There's a main thoroughfare that's right outside my house. Main thoroughfare for the town. Or a very popular one. Anyway, Lewis, The Problem of Pain. We are very shy nowadays of even mentioning heaven. We are afraid of the jeer about pie in the sky, and of being told that we are trying to escape from the duty of making a happy world here and now, into dreams of a happy world elsewhere. But either there is pie in the sky, or there is not. If there is not, then Christianity is false, for this doctrine is woven into its whole fabric, that is, heaven being a thing. If there is, then this truth, like any other, must be faced, whether it is useful at a political meetings or not. Again, we are afraid that heaven is a bribe, and if we make it our goal, we shall no longer be disinterested. It is not so. Heaven offers nothing that a mercenary soul can desire. It is safe to tell that the pure in heart, that they shall see God, for only the pure in heart want to. There are rewards that do not sully motives. A man's love for a woman is not mercenary because he wants to marry her, nor is love for poetry mercenary because he wants to read it, nor his love of exercise less disinterested because he wants to run and to leap and to walk. Love, by definition, seeks to enjoy its object. Wow. Lewis. He's my favorite author for a reason. He speaks so clearly. And I hope you don't mind, talking about Lewis almost requires a pipe. This is a little kind of bulldog. It's like a cube. It sits on the table. Sits pretty well because it's flat. Smoking Mr. Bradley, or Dr. Bradley, Mixture by Irwin Rice, tobacconist out of Chicago that I picked up recently. It's good stuff. So back to Lewis. Rewards. Sometimes we think that we want to do something because we have motivations and we're motivated by the reward. We exercise because we want a good body. We eat healthy, I guess, because we want to be healthy. Why am I talking about exercise? Maybe it's because I don't do it enough. Or he uses an example of marriage. He wants to marry a girl. Not, but and that desire isn't sullied or soiled. It's not a mercenary, or it's not a love that's seeking for itself. Because arguably, and Lewis talks about this in his works, the For Love specifically, is that the opposite of love is not hate, but pride. Because love is about turning away from yourself and moving towards the other. And so rewards don't ruin our motivations. They don't have to. The pure in heart shall see God because they want to. And that's not a bad desire. That's not a bad love. And so there are such a thing as pure motives, and the rewards don't sully them. Just let us sit with that. It's been a while since I've read The Problem with Pain, so why exactly he makes this shift between talking about the reality of heaven and our motives, and motives being not always having to be informed by our desires or them being soiled. Rewards don't soil our motivations. Poetry, for example, which Lewis talks about. Just because someone reads poetry doesn't mean his love for poetry is mercenary or rogue or seeks his own benefit. The man wants to read poetry and loves to read poetry simply because he enjoys it. And so his motivation for reading isn't, or the reward of reading poetry and, you know, the joy that comes from that isn't, does not ruin the motivations for doing so, if that makes sense. Now, it's been a while, as I said, since I've read The Problem with Pain, and I don't believe I've actually ever finished it. So I'd like to know the literary context, but like where does this fall into Lewis's argument? But even as a little snippet, there's some good wisdom in that our motivations, rewards don't need to sully or soil our motivations for doing things. Because love, as he said, is about enjoying its object. If someone marries, hopefully, they're not doing it necessarily or the reward of marrying is that they get to enjoy your spouse. The reward of poetry is its enjoyment, and it's not a bad thing. It doesn't soil your motivation. I want to do this because I want to enjoy it, and that's not bad. Or exercise. He's not disinterested. He is interested in exercise. And I think it's talking about having his own interest. Not like, oh, I find this interesting, but he has an interest because he gets something. So exercise, it's so you can walk, run, and leap. And it's for the enjoyment. And it's not a bad thing. Pure motivations are not affected negatively by rewards, or they don't have to be anyway. Well, if they are affected by rewards, then maybe they're not pure motivations anymore. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Share your thoughts if you have any. I'm gonna finish the rest of this pipe.